Hi, so what we're going to look at is actually standing up and sitting down. Standing up and sitting down is actually naturally a very functional activity, but if you actually do it efficiently, you can make it easier, but also you can use it as an exercise. You can use it as an exercise all day, every day. So what you want to look at first of all is you look at, if you're sitting back in a chair like I am at the moment, you're sitting right at the back of it, what you really need to do is actually move forward, because if you don't move forward, your bottom's here, you're getting your weight onto there. That's quite a big distance to go forward, so shorten that distance. Now you can do that by using your arms on the armrest and just lifting forward like so. However, that's exercising your arms, which is fine, but if you actually want to waken up, if you've been sat for a while in a chair and a comfortable sofa, you might actually want to weaken your body up. So what you can do is actually walk your bottom forward. So if you walk your bottom forward like that to the edge, now you might want to walk to the edge and you might want to then actually walk back again, just to make sure that you're a bit awake before you then come to stand. So you walk your bottom forward like so. The next thing that you want to do is you want to think about where is the placement of your feet. If your feet are away forward there, then what happens is, again, you've got that big distance you've got from your bottom all the way forward to your feet, which is quite big. So shorten that distance, make it easier. You bring your feet back underneath you, a little bit under your knees. Now a good tip that I use is actually, if you were to look over the top of your knees, then what you would actually see is, you should be able to see from the bends in your toes to the end of your foot. If you can see the whole foot, then your foot is too far forward. You need to bring them back. So just look over the top. At that point, you're getting your nose over the toes. Now, nose over the toes is certainly a key phrase in standing up and sitting down, so you want to remember that. So you've got your feet back. One of the things you've got to consider is you've actually got to get your weight forward. So actually, when that happens is, what tends to happen is, you actually, if you watch, your head tends to collapse a little bit, it tends to bend forward. You bend forward here, then we've got the nose over the toes. You've started to then think about actually coming up. Now you may want to use your arms, you don't have to. But if you need to, you can either use just level with you on the seat or actually use the arms of the chair. And what you do is you come forward. Now at this point, this is the key bit of when you actually, the weight goes physically from your bottom onto your feet. What you actually see is the knees come forward. You actually get the knees come further forward to get that weight onto there, and then you start to come up. So I'll just show you that again. The actual knees, if I put my hands there, you'll be able to see, as you lift your bottom, they come forward a bit. Now the weight's on the feet, and when you start to come up, it's actually coming up particularly from the hips, very much the hips. You're using the glutes, you're coming up with your top half, coming up with your trunk, your bottom's really tucking in, and the last thing, which is important to remember, the last thing to straighten is actually your knees. So just to recap, you're coming forwards, collapsing here, nose over toes. You're looking at getting your weight onto your feet. The knees come a little bit further forward. Then you start to grow tall here, grow tall, up with the trunk, really growing tall. Then the last thing to straighten is the knees. And what you'll feel is you've got your balance on your feet. You'll feel as if you're active and ready to go on two active legs rather than being a bit off balance. Okay, what we're going to look at now is how you would sit down. So now what we want to think about is, what do you do to sit down? Now there is a little few tips to this, and actually this bit is almost subconscious. It's actually where you tuck under, which at your bottom, which actually softens those knees. So those knees need to be soft. They need to be soft to allow you, you've got to keep your nose over the toes again. Now your nose over the toes stays there the whole time down like that. As you reach your bottom, so go into anterior tilt, reaching your bottom way back, reach back with your arms if you need to, nose stays over the toes until you actually get down into that chair, and then the rest of your body comes back. So just quickly again, thinking about the coming down, tucking under, knees soften, then the bottom goes out, you're lowering. If you're doing this, it's great exercise for muscles. You're lowering your body weight in a controlled manner, reaching back, and down you come. Now there's lots of ways that you can actually make this more difficult, make it easier. This is quite a firm chair, so that makes it easy. If it was soft and squashy or lower, it'd be more difficult. You also want to think about making sure, definitely getting to the edge. If this was a sofa, big comfy sofa, it'd be really difficult if you did not move forward to the edge. So there's lots of things you can do. You can have something in front of you if you're a wee bit unsure about coming forward. Maybe practice at the table, dining table. The other thing you can do is think about doing this as an exercise. You might decide that I'm doing a bit of, you're watching the television or reading a book, so the end of a chapter or some adverts, is actually do 5 to 10 stands up and sit down. You're raising your body weight up, you're lowering it down. So it's a really good exercise for strengthening and balance, and it's obviously very functional. Thank you very much.